Welcome to today's Global Connections program. I'm Bill Miller. What are the United Nations Millennium Development Goals to reduce poverty and improve maternal and child health care programs? What are the United Nations Association of the United States of America, the state of New York, and other state governments doing to shine the spotlight on these goals and to encourage Americans to participate in achieving them? We'll be back in just a moment to talk about these and other hot-button issues. Welcome back to our program. Poverty, maternal and child health care programs, protecting the environment, these are issues that are of great importance not only to people in the United States, but also to people worldwide. Today we're going to talk a little bit about the United Nations Millennium Development Goals and get an idea what several groups are doing to shine the spotlight on them and to encourage Americans and people around the world to participate and to get involved. My guests today are two people who are very knowledgeable of them. My first guest is Ms. Michele Lee Clarke-Ceres. Michele is the Chief of Staff to the First Lady of New York and the Chief of Protocol to the Governor of New York. Ms. Ceres is the 2010 Honorary United Nations Day Chair for New York State. Formerly, she was the Deputy Chief of Protocol at the United States Mission to the United Nations. My second guest is Meron Demisse. Meron has a master's degree from Columbia University School of International and Public Affairs, and she's also worked in the financial services industry. Meron is the chair for the Young Professionals for International Cooperation, commonly called YPIC, of the Southern New York State Division of the United Nations Association of the USA. Michele, Meron, welcome to today's Global Connections program.
It's such a pleasure to be here.
Well, I appreciate you being with me today. Thank you so very much. We're going to get into what you're doing, your unique activities, but first off, Meron, let's start with you. Just a brief overview of the United Nations Association of the United States of America. It's the largest nonpartisan foreign policy association in the U.S. How many chapters do you have? How many members? And what is YPIC within this organization?
Sure. So United Nations Association is an organization, as you mentioned, a membership organization that's dedicated to promoting the missions and endeavors of the United Nations through various programs, through advocacy, outreach, education, and YPIC is a program of the United Nations Association that's geared to young professionals with the age of 21 to about 40. And there are about 135 chapters nationwide, and there are about 20,000 members nationwide, and this is United Nations Association members. To tell you briefly about YPIC, the Southern New York State Division, we are, as you mentioned, a group of young professionals geared towards promoting the work of the United Nations, as well as promoting the work of UNA USA. What we are currently doing is engaging young professionals within the New York State area to educate them in various United Nations-driven goals and agendas. And that's pretty much sort of the thrust of our objective.
Now, YPIC, Young Professionals for International Cooperation, is part of the United Nations Association, but we should mention UNA USA is not part of the United Nations. It's separate from the UN, totally separate, but has an interest in UN issues because all of these issues do impact us. It doesn't matter where we live, be it New York State, California, Kentucky, wherever, or any place around the world. So these are truly interdependent global issues. So, and of course, UNA is very important in this area. It's been just a beacon of information, and that's its main goal, I think, to help inform the public about the United Nations. And of course, folks can go to www.unausa.org to get more information on the organization. Now, one of the ways to help educate the or inform, I'll say, not educate, inform the public in the United States is to sponsor United Nations Day programs and to be involved in that. And Michele, you are the 2010 United Nations Day Honorary Chair for the state of New York. Tell us a bit about the position as far as Honorary Chair and how you happen to get this position.
Well, the position of Honorary Chair is one that's given to an individual every year to basically increase awareness of the day and to work with the UNA USA on activities throughout the state. And this position came by me by being nominated by the governor, appointed rather, and I'm really excited about it because it will give me an opportunity to work with UNA, USA, YPIC on increasing awareness of the United Nations as well as the Millennium Development Goals.